Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Earth Game Podcast. I am your host, Monica, and on this podcast, we talk about pretty much anything that can help you along your journey through this game that we call life here on beautiful planet Earth. And today's episode, totally off the cuff. It's funny because I've been wanting to plan things for the pod, and I just end up changing things really everywhere. I feel like in my business right now, I have things planned and then it ends up getting changed, which is totally fine because I think it's really important to go with the flow. And that's definitely on subject for today's topic because I recently did a post on Instagram and it was about everything that I wish I knew when I first started my business now that I'm 4+ years in. And it's really interesting to look back and reflect. And so I wanted to kind of dive into all of those. How many was it? I think it was 7 things. Yeah, 7 different things. And I'm sure it will be end up more than being 7 different things. But I think it's really, really important for people who have a certain level of experience to share their knowledge, information, and wisdom with people who are first starting, or even for yourself to look back and reflect on, where did you want to be in life? You're probably living some of those things right now and the journey that it took to get here. Because it really does help you so much to reflect and take a look around, have a certain level of awareness, see what can be changed, what you learned that will help you in the future, things like that. And the best people to ask are the people who've already made the mistakes and already went through the challenges. And I personally do love a good challenge. I think that a lot of people who, have visions, dreams, goals, aspirations, they know it's a challenge that they have to rise up to. And that fulfillment, when you do rise up to it and you're like, man, I'm really doing this for myself, it just is something that I believe that every human is meant to experience, but not every human will experience. And so I also do feel that way about business, in the sense that, everyone can be an entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean that everybody will. There is a certain level of trust and skill and confidence that is required in being an entrepreneur. And I'm not saying that it's only handpicked for certain people, but the inner work that is involved, some people avoid it, and that's really what can help you the most in your business. So this episode is going to just really be kind of an off the cuff CEO mindset lessons. Again, everything that I wish I knew when I had first started, because could have saved me a lot of time. But again, that's the experience. As an entrepreneur and a mentor, I feel like the first thing, and this is not necessarily in any particular order of importance, although number 1 is really important. Number 1 is you must believe in yourself and your success. Above everything else, you have to believe in yourself. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. This podcast episode, it's not just for somebody who wants to run a business or is running a business, although obviously it applies. You can be the CEO of your life. You can be the person in charge, the main character, the producer, the director, the writer, everything for your life, because it's really all about you. Whenever people say it's not all about you, I understand to a certain degree, but also it's literally your life. It actually is all about you. That doesn't mean walk all over people or be selfish or, rude or any of those things, but it is literally your life. You should be the one in charge, and you should feel amazing about that, and you should feel amazing about yourself and what you're doing. So number 1, you have to believe in your success. You have to believe in yourself. You can have the best skills, the best content, the best connections, the best network, the best ideas even. But if you don't believe in yourself, the execution is going to fall short, and the execution is really everything. And if you don't believe that those ideas that you have or the skills that you have or the content or the connections will lead to success, then it's not going to lead to success. I've seen so many people as a mentor. I've seen so many people who they really have it all down if they just would believe in themselves. There's nothing more that they have to learn. They don't have to, obviously we're all getting better, but they don't have to get better content. It's there. It's just a matter of believing in yourself, which leads to a specific frequency. Believing in yourself and believing that the outcome is already finished and that you're already the successful version of you, or just believing that what you're doing will lead you to become successful, that is a different level of energy. It's a different confidence, a different trust, a different amount of fun. Actually, you start enjoying the process. Like, that is all very important when it comes to business and any journey that you're on. So that's number one, is you must believe in yourself. Number two, this is, and it's the same thing in life with any goal. If you want to become an athlete, if you want to become just the best version of yourself, it is a long game. It is a journey. It is not a one and done thing. Like I said earlier, you are currently living in something that you prayed for, that you wanted so badly, that you begged God for, and you were like, I'll do anything it takes to get into this position. And now you're here, and all of a sudden, that's not important anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is the nature of us as expansive human beings, that we always have more desires and we always want for more, and we should, because that means that we are going in the direction that we are meant to go. But so often we forget that it's a long game. There's going to be dips in the graph. There's going to be times where, it's not all peaches and rainbows, and sometimes you have to get uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not going to be the best day of your life, right? Law of polarity. But you understand that it's not about where I am right now. It's about the whole reason why I'm doing this. And to be honest with you, most people, they cannot handle all that comes with entrepreneurship being a long sum game. They cannot handle that in the moment they're not receiving a paycheck for the work that they just did, because they're so trapped in the employee consciousness, which again, it's totally fine. Entrepreneurship isn't meant to be for everybody. I don't think everybody can handle all that comes with it, but we are so programmed. And if you are somebody who maybe you're still working a job because you're balancing what you're doing, maybe you haven't even started your business and you're working full time, you have to remember that you go to work every day, you clock in and you clock out, and you train yourself to associate money with this hourly wage and this hourly time in, time out. But entrepreneurship, there's a meme that says that I didn't want to work 9 to 5, so I became an entrepreneur, and now I work 24/7. And in a way, it's very, very true, because you kind of are always on the clock. And for that reason, sometimes people can't handle when the huge riches of sums of money isn't coming to them, or whatever that they have to learn, they need to increase a skill in, right? So it's not just like a one and done thing. And that's what I think a lot of people with their expectations going into being a business owner or being a CEO or entrepreneur, they have this idea of like they see it. And this is again why you have to be really careful with social media, because I have a business on social media. I think social media is phenomenal, and the online digital world has completely changed what business is going to look like forever. But you have to stay in reality with understanding that what you see online isn't everything. It's not every single part of what you can experience. How could it be? It's a two-dimensional thing that you're looking at on a phone, right? Through a video. We live in more than 2 dimensions, so it couldn't even begin to capture everything. And the sensationalized, yes, so many people have fantastic stories where it seems like overnight they just gained all of this success and all of this money, and it could be very well true, but you have to look at, where are they coming from? Did they come from a wealthy family that has these systems set up, that has the knowledge and resources and information? Nothing against people who do. I think that anybody that becomes an entrepreneur and wants to build generational wealth for themselves understands that I'm doing the work again so that later on in my lineage there's more knowledge, more information, we're all getting better. But not everybody has the same level of knowledge and awareness going into something. And some people have to learn more than others, which doesn't mean that it's not possible to get to that end result. It's the process. And that's why I'm saying the long game, that some people just cannot handle emotionally. They cannot handle the delayed gratification. And with social media and the internet, again, law of polarity, there's great things, but also it can really suck you in. It can be a huge distraction. It can really take you out of being in your lane, staying in your lane and doing what you're doing and focusing on what you want to do with your life. So I will say that, I think anybody can be an entrepreneur, but not anybody will. Simply because you have to be able to handle your emotions. Now, having all this awareness about if you are in an employee mindset and how to expand that, you simply have to make sure that you are always open to figuring out what the solution is, because a huge part of entrepreneurship, a huge part of being a CEO, even just of your life, is when a problem arises, how do you respond or react? And how open are you to finding a solution? How willing are you to, look past any annoying or frustrating feelings or anger or whatever the emotion is that comes up, and think about how to solve the problem so that it finishes all those emotions very quickly, right? You don't want to stay stuck in something. And again, that's the emotional aspect that you have to look at. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is more so if you're in a position of leadership. Specifically, if maybe you're not in a position of leadership quite yet, but you want to be, this is still beneficial, because this is something that I had to learn just through experience, that so many people will talk the talk to you as a leader, but they won't walk the walk. And that is not always your problem to solve unless they tell you, hey, I realize that I have these big dreams and goals, yet it's really hard for me to take action. How can you help me work through that? Otherwise, they're just on their journey. They're just doing their thing. And if you are coaching them, like I am a mentor and I coach people, you have to set certain boundaries, give certain assignments, let them know, hey, take this action step, do this thing, and then see where they go with it, see how far they take it. Some people, they ask, to be mentored, to be coached. You give them just a little bit of information and they just go flying. Okay, those are people that they just already want to do it. They're open, they're coachable. Not everybody's going to be like that. Everyone has dreams. Everyone would love to feel better, to have more time, to have more money, and to be happier. Everyone, I think if you ask anybody, they would say, yeah, I would love more of whatever it is. But not everyone's willing to do what it takes, right? So you have to differentiate as a leader who is actually going to take the action and willing to, learn the lessons, make mistakes, do what they need to do. Because I've talked to so many people who they just really say that they want to be successful, but they aren't willing to do what it takes. And again, that's totally fine. Not everybody is meant to do the path of entrepreneurship. But as a leader, you have to have boundaries for your time, because not only are you responsible for mentoring people, but you're also responsible for continuing to grow whatever else you're doing outside of that mentorship. So you don't want to get caught up in, mentoring people who are not meeting you as a coach and as a mentor halfway. In order for the mentorship to be successful, both parties have to want the mentee to succeed, and the mentee has to be able to do what it takes so that the mentor can continue coaching them. That's it. Just if they don't do anything, it's not going to work. That's not coaching, right? So that is number 3. And sometimes you only learn this through experience. When it comes to leadership coaching, I do coach some of my team on leadership coaching, but it depends on the situation, right? It depends on, who they're mentoring, what the goals are within the mentorship. So that would be more of a personal thing that I coach with my team. I don't think I could get into all of that right now. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, I love this one. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. You don't have business problems, you have personal problems. Another way you can think of personal problems is emotional problems. So entrepreneurship really requires a lot of self-development. You have to be able to learn communication, networking, sales, marketing. There's a lot that comes with it, right? There really is a lot. Also, accountability and mental strength. If you make a mistake or you do something you shouldn't have done, you have to be able to own up to it. And you have to say, okay, what I did didn't make any sense. It wasn't helpful in my business, and this is what I'm going to do instead. You cannot let your emotions and limited thinking get in the way of your success, because if you think to yourself, you just get this random thought to connect with a specific person, to start networking with them, but then your inner critic starts saying, well, the way that you dress isn't good enough for them, or you don't know enough information about this, what makes you think that they would even want to, do any business work with you? You're shooting yourself in the foot, because Okay, maybe they end up saying no, but you learned how to speak to somebody, you learned how to pitch somebody. It could just be a not right now. It could just be a I'm busy and let's stay connected. And you just completely took away your opportunity to learn. That is one of the most important things about entrepreneurship is everything is learning. If you start viewing failure as feedback instead of letting it mean anything about who you are as a person, that's when you really start to learn the game of entrepreneurship, because you see what the next thing is that you should do. You see what the next move is. But when you allow your insecurities and your emotions and your fears and your limited thinking get in the way, you don't even allow yourself the opportunity to grow as an entrepreneur. When you make it mean something about you personally, that's when you have a business problem. That's when it gets in the way of the business problem. So start to get an awareness of, where can I rise above my emotions? A lot of times the ways that you feel about something, specific insecurities or fears, stem from an experience in childhood or something that you witnessed in childhood, and it became part of your personal programming. And that's why I say entrepreneurship requires a lot of accountability and self-development, because you're looking at your life's experience to teach you, what is it that makes me feel a way about this thing that really I shouldn't feel any way about it. I should just be able to go do it and it's not a problem. It's one thing I notice with a lot of people that I coach is there's something internal that's keeping them from taking an action from that execution, and then that robs the opportunity for learning. So that's number 4. Number 5, I love number 5. I love all of these. But number 5 is, you got to stay committed to your vision regardless of what's happening. Regardless of anything that's going on, you have to stay committed to your vision and really the reason why you're starting in the first place. In addition to completely tuning out the outside world. And that includes experiences and that includes people. Maybe there are certain distractions in the outside world. Right now, we're in a specific time of year where there's a lot of political distractions, right? You have to learn how to be able to tune out the noise, and also tune out maybe limited thinking of people that are around you, especially people who don't have any ambition in life. If you have ambition and you are an ambitious person, and you have people in your life who have no ambition, that's gonna just kill your dreams. I'm sorry to say it, but it will. It's really, really important to make sure that you're not looking to the outside world as a means of any sort of validation for what's going on in a bad way. Because there's going to be days where it's not easy. There's going to be days where you think, why am I doing this? This is going nowhere. Should I even keep doing this? Am I good enough? All of the different thoughts are going to come up during certain points. And when you can realize that the reason why you started, that's more important than anything else. The dreams that you have are more important than any fears that you might accumulate or any fears that might come up. For example, if you're running a business online, which I do highly, highly recommend, because again, like I said, it's literally changed business forever, social media and the internet. So let's say that, you are putting out lots of posts, lots of content, and you're not getting good feedback or engagement, and you start to then think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be running a business. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I should just, humble myself and just be happy with the life that I have. And obviously do be happy with the life that you have while you're on the way to building a bigger vision for yourself. But just because you're not getting likes and engagement doesn't mean that you shouldn't want what you want, right? So that's what I mean when I say stay committed to your vision, because the dreams that you have are attainable and you deserve to be living a life that you actually genuinely love. You need to stay committed to that reason why. Now, a lot of people actually have 2 reasons. They have like a selfish reason where they want to do it for like maybe for their kids or for their family, or helping their parents retire like me. And then there's actually like a very selfish reason why you want to be successful financially, and that is to feel like you can buy anything anytime without stress, or love the way that you dress, have the best quality linens in your home, whatever it is, like that thing within yourself. Most of us actually have 2 reasons. And I think it's really beneficial to teeter in between the two, because it just gives you even more fuel for your fire of why you are going to keep going when it just really sucks and when you feel like you just really want to quit. And in those moments, just take a pause. Like, just take a pause. Remember again that it's a long game. Not every day is going to feel amazing, but if you're going to quit, you can never quit on a bad day, because that just doesn't even make any sense. You need to quit when you're on a good day, because then you know if you actually genuinely are not meant to be doing what you're doing, or if you want to pivot or do something else, or just you realize business isn't for you. But I highly doubt that those of you who clicked on this video, business is not for you. So that's number 5. Number 6 is really, along with belief, these are like the most important foundational parts of mindset. A lot of the other ones are more, masculine, but number 6, trust yourself and keep your faith high. I'm saying prayer and meditation is a must. I'm not saying you have to do it 24/7 every single day even, but you need to have a connection with God. God is your best coach, your best mentor, your intuition. That is going to be what brings your success above all. So you need to make sure that you prioritize this relationship, your spiritual health, because I know people who have built multiple 6-7-figure businesses purely off of their beliefs and faith alone. Okay, strategy, yes, strategy is important. Strategy is about 20%, if we're being honest. Mindset, belief, faith, and the frequency is majority. It's like 80%. Okay, the person who's not obsessing over the algorithm, thinking, am I posting at the right time? Oh my God, they're not going to see it. Oh my God, this and this and this is bad for the algorithm. Versus the person that's like, I'm putting out value, I know my stuff, and I know that what I have to share, the people in my audience need to see this information, and they post it and they don't care about anything else. Who do you think is going to be more successful? Who do you think is going to be more successful? The person that is analyzing every single move and is scared to even raise their foot off the ground, or the person who's walking with confidence, right? That is a huge difference. So that's why I'm saying that this is really the most important thing, and allowing the divine to work in your business. Meaning you might randomly get a thought to call somebody and you don't really know why, but you just trust that because that's what God said. That's what you're supposed to do. It doesn't always have to make sense, okay? If you are backed by faith, trust, and belief, you cannot go wrong. You literally cannot go wrong. You might still learn a lesson. You might still have something that doesn't work out, but there was a reason behind it. There was an intention behind it, and there was a knowing that this is ultimately building me to where I want to go. So of course I'm going to go down this road. So that is number 6. Number 7, I have basically said this throughout this whole thing, but the journey is the destination. When you relax and allow yourself to enjoy the process instead of thinking about how you need to get to a certain goal, you need to impatience and just not being grateful for where you are, wanting it so badly to where you just feel so desperate, that is just going to push it away. Have you ever noticed when you are getting ready to go somewhere, like an appointment, and you're running a little bit late, and then you start getting antsy, and then you start rushing, and then things start falling over, you just lost your keys, now where's your phone? And you actually make yourself later than if you would have seen, oh, I need to hurry. Then you calmly gather everything you need, get in your car and go, and you get there on time. That's the same thing with your goals. If you start rushing your goals, if you start getting impatient with the process, your focus and your diligence is going to go way down, and you're just going to be all over the place. Very inefficient. Very, very inefficient if you are looking to reach a goal, right? That's not the best energy to be in. Even if it's taking longer than you want it to, even if all of your goals and dreams are desires, you get a message from God and God's like, it's going to take you actually like 3 more years than you planned, and you are just like so upset by that, that's when you know that you really need to realize that there's a lot more that I have to learn before I can reach the place that I want to be at. Because number 1, remember, you have to become the person who has the things. The journey of becoming the person, it doesn't always happen overnight. It might seem like it's going to happen overnight for some people or at a certain point, because it actually does, but that's after everything has synced up, right? That's after all the things that need to happen, all the aspects of yourself, all the things that you have to learn, different parts of your personality, all of those things are working in tandem. And there comes a point where it does all finally sync up, but it doesn't always happen the first night that you would make an attempt. A metaphor that I love thinking about when it comes to the whole journey being the destination, because this is something that I personally have struggled with for a very long time in my business, which is why it's on this list. The idea of, and this might be more applicable for women than men, but the idea of when you're getting ready to go out somewhere, like to a dinner or to some sort of event, and you're getting ready and you got your music playing, you're doing your hair, you're working on your makeup, you're figuring out what outfit, and you just want to feel really put together, you want to feel incredible, you want to feel amazing when you step out of the door. That process gets to be so fun, especially when you're not in a rush, you're just with your girlfriends or with your guy friends or whoever it is that you're with, and you're just having a good time. You know that you're going to have an amazing time at the event. You know it's going to be great. You know it's going to be phenomenal. And you're not thinking, oh my God, what if I don't get there at the right time? What if all the parking spaces are taken? You're not thinking about any of that. You're thinking, how can I get ready to feel and look my best for this event? That is the same thing. The journey, that process of getting ready, you know it's going to be fantastic when you get there. So what are you stressed about? What are you worried about? Why are you checking to see how many lights there are in front of you before you reach the exit that you need to get on? Like, do you get what I'm saying? And part of this reason is you're going to always have more goals. Once you get to that peak point, you're going to get there. You might enjoy it for a little bit. And then you're like, okay, now what? No, that's it. That's all I'm feeling. And yeah, that's it. You get what you want, and then you want for something else. So that's why I say that the fulfillment comes from the person that you become, the things that you learn, the experience, the daily, maybe even the most mundane things that you had to do 2,000 times in a row for years for it to finally become ingrained in you. And I'm not saying that everything has to take that long. That's not what I'm saying, because things can shift immediately. You can have a quantum leap. Trust me, I'm the first person to tell you that. But at the same time, we are living on this physical planet, and we're here to learn. Ultimately, we're here to learn. Entrepreneurship, I firmly believe being an entrepreneur is one of the best things you can do to gain life experience. And that's what I finish off with, because I'm all about learning. You guys know how much I love information and knowledge and just becoming better. I think I'm very Sagittarius in that way. But I truly believe that entrepreneurship is one of the greatest teachers in our life, because it teaches you everything. It literally teaches you everything. And then you are also earning money, which can open up infinite different avenues within your life when you start to accumulate more wealth. And that's why I think it's so important for so many people who are called and do feel like they want to be a CEO, they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to start a business, they want to, have passive income, make money from their phone. This information should be more accessible. I'm very passionate about, you guys know, education and teaching people. And one of my biggest goals is to help as many people as I can throughout my journey of entrepreneurship. How many more people can I help? Whether it's as a coach or a mentor, whether it's as some sort of inspiration or motivation with my health, sharing the things that I know about how to become the healthiest version of yourself. Like, that's my goal. How many people can I help throughout my journey of entrepreneurship? And a lot of people say that the more people you help, you don't have to worry about anything for yourself, because you're always going to be taken care of. So I say all that to say that I really do trust that this was a helpful episode. If you guys want more business CEO mindset content, please do let me know. Please do share this with somebody that, you think could really benefit from it, because at the end of the day, keeping the information to yourself is great, but when you can share it with another person and then have more conversations about it, that's when it's going to hit the hardest and impact your life the best. So the last thing that I want to share with you is, if you are serious about building a life of your dreams, making it happen for yourself, making an impact, really becoming the best version of yourself, then I am the mentor for you. What I do is I teach people how to run their own online wellness business through water. I'll leave my free web class in the show notes for anyone who wants to go through and see what it is that I'm all about. But I just want to build with incredible people. I want to partner with people who want to make such a big impact in the world, who want to help other people and be the best of themselves, the best of the best that they can be. Those are the people that I want to work with. So if that sounds like you, please do go ahead and click on my link below. You'll get to see all the information, and then we'll talk from there. We can come up with a game plan. That's what I do for all my new people. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Earth Game podcast, and I will see you next week for the next episode.